Every year, tens of thousands of people all over the world begin to build a camper van. And if it's your first time, you'll learn from the same place I did: YouTube. And this is my self-built adventure van, MAN TGE Auto 4x4 long wheelbase. And after 4 years of testing this in the real world across Europe, I'm going to tell you 7 things that I completely ignored from YouTube. Right, let's start with myth number 1, floor insulation. This was pure accident. I couldn't use insulation in my floor because this is a 4x4. You lose 10 centimeters in terms of height on the floor because of the prop shaft, and I'm 6 foot and I just didn't have a choice, otherwise I was going to be hunched over in the van and I just didn't want that. Now, I wasn't too worried because a lot of the vans I've built in the past, Volkswagen Transporters, I've never insulated the floor and I've never ever had a problem. The way we built it is we used 20mm plywood, no Zeliox underneath, nothing like that. 20mm plywood glued directly to the ribs in the van using polyurethane glue. We used plasterboard supports between the floor and the ceiling to hold it to the floor, and that was it. We filled it in across the gaps and sanded it, and everything went down like a dream. To template around the edge, we just used lining paper. You just draw little slices down each end of the lining paper. That gives you your perfect shape. You draw around it, take that template, put it onto your plywood, and it goes in really, really easily. If you look at any other van build video, they are putting Celotex or Kingspan or whatever you want to call it, but the expanded polyurethane foam in between all the ribs. And we've not done any of that, nothing at all. The rest of the van's insulated, but we didn't do the floor. And we've just not had a problem. It's just not been a problem. I think most people think this is a flat on wheels, and it's not. It's a box room on wheels at best. And it's a small room, and a 2 kilowatt heater will heat the van up very, very quickly. So much so that you will have a vent on or a window open to let the heat out. We've been down to -14 in the Pyrenees. We've been to like -9, -10 in Scotland. Yeah, the floor's cool, but it's not uncomfortable or cold. Yeah, what we forget is that the heater's on. It's a metal van, and the heat is running and constantly getting into the whole fabric of the van. It's heating up the fabric of the van, including the floor. I don't know what more to say. I've had the van for 4 years, never had a problem with the floor. I just think it's one of them things that we all do it. Don't want to spend the time or money insulating your floor. Don't do it. Get a little bit of extra headroom. Simple as that. Myth 2, vapor barrier. I read up a lot on Boeing and how they handle it in their airplanes. Have you ever put a plaster on your finger and had it on too long and it goes sweaty? That is exactly what's happening inside a vapor barrier. There's no way you are getting a vapor barrier 100%. The vapor will come from outside in because all the grommets and all the little holes on the van are not fully airtight. Bonkers. Like, didn't spend any time doing that. Just don't spend your time doing it. You're just wasting your time. Your van is perfectly fine. You need to make sure that you can get the moisture out of the van. What you need to do is recycle the air in the van. So you need to have an air fan or a window open. You need to make sure that there's enough heat in the van to the temperature that you want to be with a window open or with a fan on. And you probably want your fan on 20-30%, recycling the air and pulling air through a window. Again, it's a box room, not a little flat on wheels. You're in a really small room. You are cooking, showering, breathing. You're going to gather moisture in the air all the time, and you need to recycle that air with fresh, drier air. I'm going to keep that really short, that one. I've not used a vapor barrier, no problems whatsoever after 4 years. Myth number 3, framing out your shower walls with timber and the walls of your van. I see this a lot and I just decided not to do that. It just didn't make sense to me to be framing out with timber when you can use a piece of high pressure laminate, which has got the finish that you want on one side, and then we've actually done LVT on the other. It's pocket screwed and glued to the floor, pocket glued and screwed to the ceiling, pocket glued and screwed down the back. Our shower is only that thick. Again, no problems, no leaks, no cracks, nothing coming loose. And we've been on all sorts of terrain in like off-road and all sorts of stuff, so absolutely no problems at all. This is an unusual shower, so it's worth talking about it. So if you look at a shower in the van, it'll usually come out to here, and you've not got much room. If you're going to put a shower in a van, go into someone's van that's got a full-size shower and sort of have a bit of a feel of how it is for you when you're in the actual van. A shower will normally come out to about here and there, and it's just, when we looked in the van, it didn't feel spacious, and we just didn't want it. So what we've done is we designed a wet room, and we have our toilet in there, and then we've got hooks and what have you for coats and stuff to hang up for when things are wet and you can let them dry off. So we've designed the shower to be as far back as possible. So what we've done is we've designed the shower with a lip, and we have a shower curtain that clips onto these magnets here. And then when you are actually stood in the shower, you've got loads of room. And for me, you've got loads of room round your shoulders. You can have a shower, no problem. The curtains comes out and then tucks in. It's a weighted shower curtain, just tucks in on the lip there. And you've got loads of space for a shower when you're having a shower. But when you've not got the curtain up, it's not taking up loads of room in the van, so it just feels like you've got way more room. So whether you have a door or not, framing out your shower is just, it's not worth it. You're just wasting space. In terms of plumbing, we've just plumbed out on this side of the wall and gone out into the garage. So it's not like you've got stuff on show, it's going out into the garage. We've tanked the floor and up around to 1 metre. And then what we've done is we've put 2 outlets staggered, so one on one corner, one on the other. Whichever way the water falls into the shower, it'll usually just fall out. And if whatever doesn't fall out, will just fall out when you're driving. And as I say, we've got LVT, like a concrete effect LVT. That's on the floor, into the lip and all around. So it's like a sort of walk-in wet room, effectively. And then we've got enough space just for the toilet to go in there. And it's easy to get the toilet in and out and everything without having a door. So it might not be to everyone's taste, but you could easily have a sort of Nautilus type shower on there to have something that's really, really neat. And you could come out a bit further, but that's the way we wanted to do it with our shower. And the other thing is framing the walls. We put wooden beams, really thin wooden beams in the ceiling to screw into and glue into. And we put some wooden panels on the wall, but you don't need to frame out the whole of your van. You can screw into the fabric of the van, screw into the ceiling. You just don't need to do it at all. Next up, the Max Air Fan. Those in the know about this, but if you are new to building a camper van, you'll see people put the Max Air Fan in the van and just go, oh, it's an American brand, I'll do the same and put it in. Oh my word, rattles, noises, problems with fuses blowing, just nightmare from the start to the finish. The remote's crap. I could go on and on. It's just not a good product, and it's a classic case of copycat. Other people put it in the van, so you put it in your van. This is brushless, so it's more efficient, it's quieter, it will last longer. And the other benefit to it, it's the same price as a Max Air Fan. The other benefit is that there's a light, integrated light, so you can just pop that on if you need be, if you need a bit of additional light. And it's got an integrated blind, so you've not got to worry about having a magnetic blind that's going to fit it. I think this is the Gen 1, there's now a Gen 2. Gen 2 is great, you can get all the insides now all in black, and the outer shell is black, but the outer housing at the top is all in black. So if you've got a grey or black van, that's the one to go for. There's a Gen 3 coming out as well, where they've improved the way the fly screen works and a few other things, but Max Air Fan, way overrated, just one of them things, copycat thing, everyone does it, but if you know, you know. Next up, sound deadening. I see people putting sound deadening all over the inside of the van. We have not put in any sound deadening in the van other than the panels that you get from the manufacturer when they send the van out. We've had no problem with sound. If you go into an empty room where there's no furniture in it, you clap your hands or you speak, there is going to be tons of echo in that room. As soon as you put furniture in that room, you will have no echo whatsoever. I think people get caught up thinking that a metal tin is like a drum and that you're going to hear everything. That's not the case. As soon as you put everything in it, you're just not going to hear that noise. I would advise, if you've not got any sound deadening in the centre of your panel when you get the van delivered, for whatever reason you should do, if you don't, just put a little bit of sound deadening if you've got a big piece of tin, just to stop that kind of banging sound. Covering the whole of your van in sound deadening is great for dodo mat, but not great for your bank balance, and not great for the weight that you're going to be carrying in the van either. The next myth is side pods. Now, I'm 6 foot, as I say, and I can stretch out no problem. Katie is about 5'1", and she's definitely got no problem. We've just not needed them at all. I can sleep really comfortably. My feet do touch the wall. I like the look of them. I like the way they look on a van, but it's not something you need to do. Just give it a try, see how it goes for you. Right, so I'll try and explain a little bit about what we've done and why it helps the way we've done it so that you don't need side pods. What we've got is, we've got insulation, so the sort of Celotex style thick insulation all around the walls. On the bit that goes in, so you can see it's a little bit sort of, show you, kind of goes in. And then on that bit where it goes in, we've just glued white furniture wadding to the wall, and then we've put the carpet over the top. So the carpet then shapes to that kind of inward kind of shape, and that's great for your feet. So you've got, see if I can kind of show it. I'll try and brighten up on the video, but it kind of goes in, and then your feet can kind of go in there. And then on this side, when we've got all the pillars down as normal, like that, we've got a window in there. So we've got the window just going to the carpet, basically goes right into the edge of the window. Yeah, we've got a fully opening window on that end. And again, when I'm sleeping, my head is like there. It would be where that pillow is. And again, I've got a little bit of extra room before that kind of bump where we've put the insulation in there. And we've not made any sacrifices either. We've still got enough room. We can get 2 bikes in here. We've got enough room to get the bikes under. We've got plenty of room for putting kit underneath. Clears the Evo Motion Design garage units. And as you can see, it's a full height sprung IKEA mattress with the IKEA beams and the slats, and we finished it off with oak front to match the sort of black and blonde of all the design of the van really. And as I say, we can get the bikes under, we've got plenty of room there, and we've got the width without needing to put the pods in. So it's a choice, not a must-have. And the last myth is the blue stuff, Victron. You do not need to cover the whole of your garage in blue Victron boxes. There are plenty of other choices out there that you can fit into your van really easily and will give you more than enough power for you to be off-grid. There are plenty of options from lots of different brands that allow you to put an all-in-one system in your van that will give you more than enough power for what you need. The new stuff that's coming out now means that the inverter power, the alternator power, the solar power is way over what you would need to be off-grid in a van. So really think about that before you order all the blue boxes and embark on something that's just going to stress you out, add more weight, more time. Personally for me, I just don't think it's the best choice unless you actually enjoy fettling and doing all that stuff. There's so many different jobs in a van, and you need to try and simplify as many of them as possible. So yeah, the blue stuff, it's a decision, not a must. If you want to avoid getting stressed and having to put together all that, go for a good quality all-in-one. Clayton Power, Neo, there's other brands out there, but there's plenty of options with big warranties on them that will probably last the lifetime of the van. Don't slavishly follow other YouTubers, including me. Have a look and see what's going to suit you and suit your van. It's your van, you can do it your way. Have a little bit of a look at different products. Try and speak to a few different people. Don't think because 5 people or 10 people on YouTube have put it in their van, that's gospel and that's what needs to go in your van. Challenge everything. Some of the things I've done in my van could have gone wrong. Luckily they didn't, they've all kind of worked out. But what I've done in my van might not be right for other people. Some people would be horrified if they had to sit on the toilet and there was no door. Luckily, me and Kate are absolutely fine with it. What I'm trying to say is, you do you.